That's the big role of Canadian servicemen overseas.
Ace Bailey joined the Toronto St. Pat's in 1926. He quickly established himself as one of the most talented players in the NHL. He would go on to win the league's scoring title in just his third season and would help the Maple Leafs capture the Stanley Cup in 1932. 75 years ago this season, Ace Bailey's hockey-playing career would come to an abrupt end. On December 12, 1933, in Boston, the Bruins' Eddie Shore received a hard check from the Leafs' Red Horner. Eddie, still feeling the effects of the blow, took off after who he thought had hit him. Unfortunately, it wasn't Red, who might have expected Eddie to retaliate. Ace Bailey was, as they say, in the wrong place at the wrong time and was knocked to the ice by Shore. Ace's head struck the ice and he lost consciousness. Red Horner, understandably upset by what he had witnessed, retaliated, knocking Shore unconscious with one punch. Even Conn Smythe lost his composure, striking a Boston fan and winding up in jail. Boston police were preparing to charge Shore with manslaughter, and a priest had been summoned to Boston City Hospital to read Ace Bailey the last rites. Doctors performed 2 operations to try to save Ace's life that night, but they remained far from optimistic, measuring Ace's life expectancy in minutes. Miraculously, Ace made it through the night and began to show signs of recovery the next day, eventually gaining enough strength to return home. Ace was going to be okay, but his hockey career was over. With Ace's playing career at an end, the Maple Leafs and the NHL began planning what was to be the first All-Star game in league history. It would pit the Leafs against the best of the NHL on Valentine's Day at Maple Leaf Gardens, with the proceeds going to Ace and his family. Before the game began, Ace himself handed out the players' sweaters at center ice. The NHL All-Stars received theirs first, and the second player to skate over to accept his sweater was number 2, Eddie Shore. The Gardens crowd fell silent, but when Ace extended his hand to Eddie, it was clear all was forgiven. There was one last order of business. Conn Smythe took the mic and announced to the crowd that no other player on a Maple Leaf hockey team will ever again wear the number 6. It is common these days for teams to retire a player's number. Most do. But in 1934, it had never happened before. Not in hockey, not in basketball, not in football, and not in baseball. Ace Bailey of the Toronto Maple Leafs was the first professional athlete to have his number retired. The sports tradition of retiring numbers had begun. The game itself was a tremendous success. The Leafs beat the All-Stars 7-3, and despite the match taking place during the Great Depression, a staggering $21,000 was raised for the Bailey family. The Bruins, in a charity game of their own, raised an additional $8,000. Ace would remain a part of the hockey world for the rest of his life.